Hello and welcome to the Average Initiative, the average podcast by average guys that know an average amount about an average amount. And we're going to talk about it anyway. My name is Lewis.
And I'm George. Hello.
Hello, George.
Oh, I should have said I'm Lewis. Like, the whole vision thing. Oh, that'd have been a funny bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but
Like I
there's
said,
one
I'm the
flaw
white
in
Lewis because
I'm also white Lewis.
yeah, but I'm the white Lewis.
Yeah, but there's one flaw in that is the fact that I am Lewis.
Consider the theory on Trigger's broom. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
oh, wait, no, that's my part.
But what are we talking about today?
I'm glad you asked. That's the only way I remembered I'm supposed to do that bit.
Yeah. It's going to be like that forever.
Yes. So today we are talking about finally the finale to WandaVision. It's over. It's finished. So we're going to talk about the finale and kind of the series as a whole. Yeah, get out of here and bring us season 2 because my God, I'd have another one of these any day of the week.
Agreed. I agree.
I did just get off watching. I didn't get off actually. You
just got off. Oh. Did you at least watch your hands?
I rubbed them on my t-shirt. It's fine. No, I just filth. It's only taken us 10 episodes and we're resorting to this. No, I just finished watching another YouTuber's take on WandaVision. So some of my tone and my thoughts may be a bit based, but I'm trying my best to be impartial and normal.
For the first time, I haven't actually watched anything about it yet, so this week I might have a lot less thoughts than last week.
I was a bit like, I'm not really that fussed about catching stuff up, but then I ended up watching them all while I was supposed to be working, so that'd be
time well spent.
Exactly. But today we're talking about the finale and all sorts. So there will be spoilers here if you haven't seen the finale. But it's been 2 days, so we've given you enough time. And
3 days. 4?
Yeah, no. I don't know. When are we saying we recorded this to get me out of trouble?
We recorded this. Consider the theory of. I can't remember the name of it.
I genuinely didn't hear what he said at first. Like I was real struggling to hear what he was talking about. Anyway, but so full spoilers ahead for the whole season. We'll try and do the last episode first, if that makes sense, and then we'll probably go into the whole season as a whole. So if you do want to at least hear the finale part, you can. But I don't know why you would.
Maybe should we? Oh no, I was going to say maybe we'll say when. But then if you're listening to the finale part, then you've watched it all anyway, so who cares?
And we're moving on.
Okay, should we just jump into it? Yeah. So it starts, obviously, from the cliffhanger from the previous episode, where she's got her sons, Agnes has got her sons in some nooses.
Wanda's sons.
Yeah, no, Agnes has got Wanda's sons.
You can have my Agnes any day of the week, mate.
Consider the theory of Agnes's ship.
Right, we're going to explain the ship thing in a minute because people are going to be lost.
Jumping ahead.
One thing I do want to quickly ask, is this the first time a superhero has been in a big boss final fight wearing joggers and a sweatshirt? Other than Spider-Man.
What about Hancock? Oh no, he gets a super suit at the end, doesn't he?
Yeah. I don't remember that film.
Kick-Ass?
I tried to.
Oh, that's a diving suit.
Yeah. But everyday clothes, and it's just a hoodie and joggers.
Doesn't say that way, though, does it?
No, it does not.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. So I had a couple notes on their fight at the beginning, and I've sort of just written not interesting enough.
No, I was thinking that. I mean, that's my thoughts going for a lot of the actual fights. Mainly on the Wanda side of things. Although the bits where she throws the car. And it's
that's just classic Wanda, isn't it?
But that's what I mean. That's what I wanted. I didn't want. Yeah. Okay, maybe she does a couple lasers. It's like, you can't actually beat me at magic. And then she does something so dirty.
Yeah. Because why wouldn't you?
It wouldn't have occurred to Agnes. Like, why wouldn't I throw stuff at you?
But I just thought Agnes should have done more magic-y stuff because she's supposedly so good at it, but she's just shooting purple beams and shit.
Yeah, I suppose if they could have chucked in a line Agnes saying, "Oh, this is old magic, dear. Like you can't keep up," or something like, along those lines. It's like,
or like I only
that
need
is
to
her
use,
flaw. She's
or I only need to use like base level shit to fight you.
yeah, actually, yeah. Either one of those I think would have worked. Like the base,
Mm.
yeah. So she kind of taught in her like, oh, you're this all powerful being, but you haven't got a clue what you're doing. Or I'm so old, there's no point even trying. But it's her oldness that's actually lets her down in the end.
Because that sort of sentiment is gone over later when she's saying like, you don't need more power, you need, was it knowledge or whatever? So she's saying she has the knowledge, but Wanda is obviously more powerful. But she's got the knowledge, but she doesn't really seem to use it.
No, but then we don't really see her do anything other than just wave her fingers.
Yeah. Strange.
But then we get the really cool Wizard of Oz
that was my next note.
Shoes. Yeah, I saw that. But then also when there's another bit later on when the cinema's flickering between all the different decades.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well.
You saw that as well? What, the Oz the Great and Powerful?
I didn't even clock it. It was Cassidy who told me about it. She was like, "Oh, look, it says Oz the Great and Powerful." Thing. Yeah.
It was only after the event, the Incredibles thing the other week, and what was the other bit that was on there?
Oh, it was Parent Trap, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, that's the kind of thing I'm going to have to look out for."
I didn't even clock. It was a nice touch.
Kind of talking about.
I did wonder though, like, was Agnes intentionally doing a Wizard of Oz reference by taking her shoes off? Because why else would she take her shoes off? Or were they boots that were just in the house and the car just landed on them?
Yeah, it was a bit of an odd thing, because it's not even like it was like she hid them under, like, behind the curtain, so Wanda pulls the curtain back and she's there, but she's not.
Yeah.
Or like she lifts the car up and it's like, oh, it's a distraction. Because it wasn't, because then Wanda turns around and she's not there straight away. So,
yeah, she comes back later and she's got shoes
on.
And
then she's on the other side of the roof, on the other side of the road on a roof. So it's not even like she got the jump on her.
Strange.
Oh, well, just Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Ooh. He wasn't in it.
Oh, I was going to say talk about that
later. And then Vision popped in.
So White Vision shows up, right?
What I love most about White Vision is, like, from a production standpoint, is this looks like whoever the showrunner is, I forgot their name now, but they were sat in, like, I don't know, one of the back offices, like, so what are we going to do for the finale? And they're like, they got the big whiteboard and they're all writing on it. And in the background, some internal, like, work experience boys just moving a load of old props and costumes. And he comes in with the original, like, prosthetic cast for Paul Bettany's Vision.
Yeah.
And she looked at it and she went, I'm going to use that. Because that's what this looks like. It's just the basic Vision. They just didn't put the paint on yet.
It does kind of look like they've just like put to those blackboard rubber things, erasers, and they just sort of smacked them together in front of Paul Bettany's face.
Exactly. Like, it was a very creative costume, but it wasn't creative at the same time.
Yeah, it looked cool. It was a bit different to Vision. Like, if you look at some of the lines on his head and like some of the other designs, like minute design, there's changes in there. It's not perfectly identical, which I
think what they should have done, personally, is had him not had, like, this is gonna sound so mental, but not had eyes or a face, or just make him look more smooth, because he did just look like a person in latex.
But I think, doesn't Hayward say later? Oh, having more smooth, yeah. But he has a face, because like, they later try to pass it off, or Hayward says they're going to pass it off as Wanda's stolen the body and brought him back to life. That's how they're going to get away with having him, because then they say that we seized him, kind of thing. That's his plan.
Okay, I guess. But like, even maybe because there's a big focus later on about his eyes. But for me, I thought his eyes should have just been like whited out.
Oh, white, yeah, that could be cool. But I suppose they're like trying to give him a more evil look. He also had like a bit of a like gruff scowl on his face the entire time, didn't
he? Yeah,
he had the stank look. Somebody ripped one. Like,
can Vision fart? Didn't we talk last week if he could consummate a marriage? Or was that someone else I was talking about?
No, I think we did talk about that, because we said something about an oil leak.
Yeah.
Does he dream of wet dreams?
That was it. Cassidy, check the archives. That's what you're here for.
But
you didn't hear that.
I put down. So White Vision rocks up to Wanda, and she just says Vision as if it's just a normal Vision. And I've put down here a quote from Mean Girls. Oh my God, you can't just ask someone why they're white. So maybe that's why she didn't ask them why they're white, why he was white.
Yeah, but this is like, it's really bugged. It's mainly like kids shows. Like, I'm thinking more Shrek 2. But like someone turns up saying they're someone else with such a stark difference, and the character's like, okay, I'm not going to question it. Yeah. And they give like some half-assed excuse like, oh, it's the radiation's done this or whatever. And they're like, oh, okay. And like, they're skeptical, but they agree with it. Like, no, like have a bit more foresight to be like, this isn't, you're not Vision. Clearly not.
Like if my significant other, Cassidy, turned up and she was completely white, I wouldn't go, oh, you're right, Cass. Okay. Oh. Well, or you do.
Because I'm already completely white.
Yeah. So if you came at me with your top off, I wouldn't be like, oh, you're right. I'd be like, why are you white?
Different.
Why are you so white? What's going on?
If I suddenly appeared with bleached white hair, you'd be a bit like,
I'd be like, are you okay? Is everything okay at home?
And then if I tried to crush your skull.
Yeah, okay, I got a note about that as well, right? So he grabs her head, right? Like he's caressing her face, and he grabs the other side, and he starts squeezing her skull. And okay, you hear cracking, which I don't like, because does that mean her head's cracked from now on, whatever. But if he can phase through stuff, and his mission is literally to kill her and Vision, and he has no emotion, why would he not just phase through her head and grab her brain?
Yeah.
Why would he slowly crack her head and then do a quip?
Oh, that's what I mean. Like there was the problem with these characters when they can do stuff so out there, it's mental. You're restricted by your own imagination.
Yeah,
I think, and you could have done some really cool stuff with like have him phase in and grab her heart or something, instead
I suppose that there's no getting out of that. Though, is there? I know. Well,
yeah, but then it could have been his directive of like confirmation of just eliminating Wanda Maximoff. And it takes a second to like process it, and that's when Real Vision takes him out. Original recipe chicken Vision takes him out, and like she's like, oh, and she's kind of, and then that way she can be a bit on the back foot initially when Agatha then pops back up. She's like, oh my god, someone just grabbed my heart, like, had their hand inside of me.
Yeah, I mean, So, but also, does she know it's the Real Vision's body? Because you know how like she does that whole I can feel you thing, and then when he's dead, she's like, I can't feel you. Then this body rocks up, which is her boyfriend's body.
Yeah, but she just Mind Stone, is it? It's
no, I know, but like maybe that's why she's not like, oh, what's going on? Because maybe she just senses Vision's here because it technically is Vision, like body wise. Maybe I don't know.
Wanda, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Wanda. I want that as my text alert. It's Paul Bettany saying Wanda.
Wanda.
It's like, oh,
Wanda.
He's up there with, I don't know what to do.
Logan.
Wanda.
Oh,
I would pay good money to see the look on Cass's face right now.
Oh god, I can't even see her. She sat behind my computer. She's laughing. So, are we to assume that Paul Bettany was talking about himself when he said he got to work with an actor he's wanted to work with for 30 years?
He went out and confirmed that. Which, bless him, he was trying to have a bit of a joke, but he underestimated.
He ruined a lot of people's days with that.
The desperation of this fandom.
Yeah.
I think that was a fun thing to say.
It was funny, but I think it did get. I think it was one of the showrunners or something said that Paul Bettany had dug himself a hole, and he kind of had.
I'm not helping him out. Yeah,
because the only way you sort of prove to people that there's not going to be another big cameo is by telling them that you're going to be fighting yourself, but you don't want to do that because it kind of ruins the surprise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Poor guy.
But then he still didn't technically play against himself.
Not
because he can't.
Yeah, I mean, there's not two Paul Bettanys, is there? Are we? Can we fact check that? Cass?
Facts with Cass.
Yeah, facts with Cass. So after that, obviously, that's when they sort of meet up, like the family, and it goes very MCU.
Incredibles.
Typical. Yeah, I've also got down Incredibles. And they're like, oh, sons, we didn't prepare you for this. She's like, but you were born for it, or you were made for it, or whatever she says. And I'm like, are they? Were they? I don't know if they were, but you go off. And I think, another note I had here was, I think it could have been interesting to have them switch fighting partners at some point.
Yeah, I would have liked that.
Because they had Witch on Witch and Vision on Vision, but at no point did they fight each other's thing. And that, I think, could have led to more interesting dynamics fight-wise.
Yeah, I mean the Vision actual fight before the big library bit, like where they're phasing in and out of each other, and like I think White Vision goes to punch him, so he phases his arm and locks him in, and like stuff like that.
That was
so
interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah,
it was much more interesting than the witch fight.
Yeah, the Vision fight, it was what I was looking forward to most. There was a Man of Steel cape grab, which I did like notice.
I mean, it
just goes to fly away,
the cape is unnecessary. Probably shouldn't have that cape. Oh, Incredibles reference again.
But no, I do like that idea. Like they're on the back foot, and what that Wanda says like, oh, she's she can absorb all my magic, and then Vision's like, and no one, he's thinking I can't outthink him, or like the computer's thinking too fast. And he just says like, how did you defeat me before? And she goes, magic.
Yeah, put you in the ground.
All right, well, and then that kind of they swap over.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think it does. And also, there's a bit where he gets the other Vision in a headlock. That's the exact same move he uses on Hawkeye in Civil War.
Yeah, he's a one-trick pony, that Vision.
Yeah, or maybe it's just he calculated it, and that's the most effective way to choke someone.
Yeah, but he's a robot. He can't breathe.
That's a good point.
Because Captain America did this to Ultron as well, put him in a headlock and tried to choke him, and it's like, but my guy, like, good effort, but oof.
Yeah.
What else? I forgot I was going to say something. Yeah, and then the twins end up taking on the military, which is quite cool. Because it's like, fine, they can take on guys with guns.
It was cool, but also just saying to your kids, you handle the military. Like, how does she know that they're going to be okay? Like, surely she would be more protected of them, not like you just handle all these guys with guns. Like, you just handle it.
Yeah, ow, sorry, I just hit my table. Oh Christ! Right on my knee. I'm gonna cry. I lost my train of thought. What were we talking
about? I think we're talking about the Snyder Cut.
Ruined my day.
Am I getting the wrong? I think I'm getting the wrong episode.
Okay. Yeah, go back and listen to our Snyder Cut episode, everyone, because you didn't, and we want the views.
Still to this day, just side note, our Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer breakdown episode is the least played episode we have so far.
Woof.
Yep.
Good. Well, look forward to the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode recap coming in 2 weeks.
Anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about the kids taking
Billy
on the military.
And Tommy. Yeah, so I thought it would have been more fun if. I mean, it's fun seeing them fight the military, but you get into some dodgy grey area with that. Yeah. If it had been, hey, you need to go save Monica. Somehow they've been aware Monica's been held captive by Pietro.
Yep.
Or not Pietro. Again, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Because you have the speed versus speed, and then
then
you could have had whichever one Wiccan is, the psychic one. Then that you could have explained Monica's. He could have broken whatever spell Agatha had on, maybe
using his mind powers.
Yeah, and then he could have been like, "Oh wow, Monica, you've got powers. You can absorb kinetic energy." She's like, "Yeah, I got these running through the hex." He's like, "Oh yeah, but you didn't have these before." And like, "Oh, okay, thank you for telling us that, the audience."
Yeah.
Usual mind reading character to inform us all, and then usual 2 speed characters to have a really cool slow motion fight. Then you could have had like I mean, imagine if fake Pietro like went to do a X-Men style like time in a bottle thing.
Yeah, and then speed.
And then they just like
doink.
Yeah, lashed him, and he's like, "That won't work here." Yeah. And like, that
kind of like in Justice League where you haven't seen it, have you? Have you?
Yeah, I saw it with you.
Oh yeah, where Flash goes super speed and you just see Superman's eye just like move around him, and he's like, "Oh shit, this isn't gonna work."
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Like, actually, he's outmatched because these powers aren't natural, or whatever.
Yeah,
I do like that would be good. Maybe he puts on some headphones, or it does something to set up like in Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
And you think, they're going to do one of them.
Suddenly, a bit of 80s pop comes on.
And as it slows down and comes in, bang, and then whoever just takes him out. Or Vision ends up flying through the house and just knocks him out. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay, well, cool. That's done.
Or Hayward just comes over and starts trying to get the kids up, like, get.
That was insane.
Yeah, I've just written here, Hayward, kid murderer?
Like that's a slope you can't come back from.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just they'll put in a final nail in the coffin that this guy is just a dickhead.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I would have liked to have seen Jimmy get some revenge on him. I know he kind of does, but like.
Oh yeah, so I put here, Hayward is big dum dum, right? Because he just lets Wu, like clearly in front of everyone, Wu just takes that phone. Like, I'm sorry, but they are supposed to be a group of like intelligence agents or whatever. So he just picks up that phone and then he bluffs his way through Hayward, and then they leave Wu on his own.
He's a magician, isn't he? Like,
yeah, but they leave him on his own.
It would have been better if he'd picked up the phone and like done some sleight of hand and it vanished.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I just think, why would they leave him on his own in a barn?
Yeah, why is there a barn there as well? That's why I don't get.
Yeah.
Because then also when he's like, oh, was it Cliff from Quintico or whatever? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, whatever he says.
I don't know what that is. And I was like, am I supposed to know that? I had my sister looking at me like, prompts.
Was he just talking about the FBI?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a famous FBI base. Like,
maybe, yeah.
That's what I assume it was. I can't even remember what it's called. I just know. I kept thinking Quiznos, and I was like, no, that's a sandwich shop.
Is it? Is that a sandwich shop?
Sure. Yeah, I think so. It's like an American food.
I knew it was like a restaurant. I didn't know it was sandwiches. Hey, let's go to Quiznos.
Do you not think, right? And I understand why she was in it, but the character of Monica ultimately was kind of pointless.
Yes, I agree. She was there specifically just so they could give her powers, I think.
Yeah, and it was like it was an origin story within an origin story, and we didn't need that.
No, we didn't. She did because nothing, you could have essentially at the end.
You could have had Darcy and Wu be the pairing.
Yeah, because all Monica did was the one that told them that Wanda's doing this. That's the only thing she really did. Let's be honest.
And I know Monica obviously was the tie to Hayward and Sword, and like that's how you get in the hex in the first place, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, true. But they also brought Darcy in, didn't they? Like Sword brought them in.
Yeah, like Darcy could have been called out and was like, I'm here on behalf of Sword, to help with your missing person case because there's some weird background radiation going on. Like what? Hang on, and then she goes through. But then she wouldn't have been able to discover the TV program.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't know because you wouldn't have needed someone in there in the first place.
Yeah.
So Darcy could have.
So basically, what we've established is Monica didn't need to be in this story.
No, I mean, again, she had some good moments, and I'm glad she.
Oh well, I was really all for it until this episode. She did nothing basically. Like, she undid.
Yeah, it does feel like her entire story came to nothing. I thought she was going to be like the third main character. Yeah,
I thought she was going to help out at the end of these, like in the fight.
Yeah, she was going to help fight evil Vision.
Yeah. Or Agatha.
Again, like we said before, like Wanda's like, my magic's doing nothing. She's like, I don't run with magic. I just punch her really hard.
I'll shoot her with
this gun.
My special blue powers.
It's like turn her into a baby, and then Hayward will want to kill
her. Speaking of Monica, also Darcy didn't have a lot to do in this episode, did she?
She drove a van, and then no, she doesn't like tidying up. She's gone now. Don't worry about her.
We have to assume that the episode, not last episode, but the episode before, where Vision leaves her in the truck and he flies off. We have to assume that from that moment she's driving until she hits Hayward.
Yeah.
Because what else would she be doing? So did it all happen in the space of like 20 minutes?
It must have done.
Between that point and then. Because Vision comes out of the car. And the next time you see him is when he takes out White Vision. So yeah,
then I suppose it took him the whole Halloween episode to walk to that side of town, didn't it?
True, but he was flying. But then I suppose she was driving a shit car, wasn't she?
Not until he got to the edge of town anyway.
No, yeah, but I mean, when he leaves Darcy to come back again.
Oh yeah. That's why he got back. But I'm saying if you think how far out he was when he met Darcy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
So she did have a long way to drive back in that little van. But why didn't the van change back to her being an FBI car by that point? Did she reduce the hex down? Or am I getting confused?
I think she started to open it up, but then it closed again. So she opened it up enough for Hayward to come in, and then it closed back up again because her kids and Vision starting to fade away.
Yeah, I get you.
I find that I was
going
to say, when she's doing that and Vision and her kids are like crawling towards her, I don't know why. All I could think was it really shows the difference between child actors and adult actors, because Vision's sort of like crawling and dying was quite believable, and the kids was like they just told them to lay on the ground and just point your arm out and just pretend to wriggle around a bit. I don't know. It wasn't very believable, but they are children, so I should probably lay up. Who am I, Hayward?
Yeah, kill them kids. Because when Vision's like being pulled apart, it's like when it first happened, it looked like it was being done like metal shreds of metal.
Yeah, and then it was just like he was disappearing completely.
Which is kind of. Do you think they did that? Because when they wrote in kids gonna have the same thing, like, oh crap, we can't.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, can't strip their arms off and each toe one at a time. Yeah, probably.
How metal would that have been though? Like,
metal or fleshy?
But yeah, what did you think of the Quicksilver?
Oh, okay.
Reveal.
Ralph. I think it was very flat and lackluster, but I think that's because everybody built up so many theories and stuff. So obviously, it turns out he's just a normal guy, and Agatha's controlling him, and obviously he's given him these powers.
Yeah, well, he was Ralph.
Yeah, he's the Ralph she's been referring to, which I didn't actually catch when I first watched it. I was just like, boner.
Well, yeah, that was it. And it was like, oh, he's Ralph Boner. Like,
it's just a dick joke.
What?
The whole Quicksilver of this whole series was just reduced to a dick joke, and that's it. Because he's just a guy.
Even his necklace isn't really explained. It's like, it gives him his powers and Agatha's controlling him. But
what I was wondering is if she can give people powers like that, why isn't loads of people in this universe just got powers like that?
I genuinely thought the plan was turn all of Westview into beings with power to take out Wanda.
Oh, that could have been cool.
And then by doing that, she's weakened herself. And then you do the rune thing, so like her spells are worn off and she can't get that magic back now.
Yeah.
And Wanda's like, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Another thing that I think Cass pointed out was that in their first so obviously Quicksilver has taken Monica into his bedroom, attic, whatever, overpowered her, and then she goes to escape, and he manages to, speed over there and stop her, or like flicker or whatever he does. But then when she then grabs him and flips him over, he does nothing. He just lets her flip him over and just take the necklace off.
It was like, we need her to leave. Okay, she just beats him now. It's like,
she just does a judo flip, and boom,
judo flip.
Sorry, and then she does nothing else for the remainder of the show.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
it's done. I don't feel like a show that had a few too many moving parts.
Yeah, I honestly think if I hadn't looked up or thought about any theories the entire time I was watching it, it would have felt more complete to me. But I think I just made it seem too complex.
I think that's the thought of a lot of people who watch this, myself included, like, because we got but that's kind of a testament to how good the show was, that we all got so into it and so involved.
Yeah. So obviously, if we watched this in one day, if it all came out in one day, we wouldn't have had all these theories, would we? So we wouldn't have overblown it for ourselves.
No. And I saw someone saying like, well, at least I know not to get my hopes up for Winter Soldier. And so I'm like, but that seems pretty...
Yeah, it's completely different. That's just a linear, straight kind of
there's nothing out of the ordinary there within reason. Whereas WandaVision, from episode 3, I think, or 2 even, but we didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, you never seen anything like it. And it did open up the door to the fact that you could literally do anything, like, at all.
Exactly. You can create superpower beings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did think, going back to what I was saying about Agatha giving everyone powers, if that may have been their way into, like you said before, everyone being that being the start of the mutants.
Yeah.
Because that's she does it, and then she can't take the powers back. And Wanda's like, that's my gift. You have these abilities now. Use them. They're all dormant within you, like my power was dormant within me. And then they don't have to say they're mutants, but kind of like Wanda, some people do have dormant powers, and it's only when the Mind Stone's exposed that they're awoken. Yeah, because you could have done that and had, like, I don't know, Wanda or Vision exploding or whatever, or Wanda's power being broadcast on TV to everyone, and then that's what activates mutant populations of the world.
Yeah, I could have.
That would have been so sick.
I think the thing is, we still don't know how they're gonna do that, and for all we know, it could be like a mind blowing thing.
Yeah, I did see a rumor that apparently the first like mutant film is just going to be called The Mutants, like Marvel's.
Oh yeah, I saw a thing where it said it's not going to be called X-Men.
No,
I didn't see. Well, I didn't read the article, so. But yeah, I think that could be cool, because I think you don't want to go X-Men straight away, do you? Because it's too linked to. Yeah, people didn't go to see Dark Phoenix, so they're not going to go see X-Men. Do you not think that, this is a side note, but what they're doing with Scarlet Witch is very similar she's like the Dark Phoenix of this sort of universe. I know there is still going to be a Dark Phoenix probably at some point. Oh,
you still there?
Yeah, there was a big buzz.
Oh, sorry, that may be my phone. Sorry. Oh yeah, get messages.
Yeah, but in terms of like she is good, but she could be a little bit evil. Like you never know which way she's going to swing.
Be, like partly why she teams up with Strange. I think he might be like the Professor X role. Like, okay, I'm not as powerful as you, but I can at least keep you in check and guide you.
Yeah. So she's more powerful than him. They make mention of.
Yeah.
When Agatha's reading the Darkhold, so obviously she's prophesized. And to be stronger than
the Darkhold was also in Agents of Shield as well at some point.
Oh, I really should watch that.
But I cannot remember for the life of me where or why. I do not remember.
Also, nobody in history has watched that show, so we'll never know.
I did. I watched it up until a bit. There's some really good bits in it. Like some of the characters.
The Ghost Rider looked cool.
Yeah, like I think it might have been to do with him because as in the finale he goes to leave and he turns his chain into a sling ring, like Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's cool.
And he walks through, and that was like a whoa.
So he's magic as well.
It was.
I like that. And I suppose the Darkhold is like the Book of the Damned, so that would make sense.
Yeah, I'm sure it must have been. In fact, I think he may have been taking the Darkhold with him.
Imagine they bring Ghost Rider in Doctor Strange too. Oh, I'd rate that.
Nick Cage's Ghost Rider, yeah.
Oh yeah, gotta be.
Yeah.
Johnny Blaze.
Other than Robbie Reyes.
Have both because they're both canon in this universe, aren't they? Well, maybe not the Nicolas Cage bit, but that character is.
Yeah, Robbie Reyes is.
Well, yeah, but doesn't he have a vision and he sees the Johnny Blaze version? Doesn't he? Isn't that in Agents of Shield?
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, something like that. Yeah, he.
You say you've watched it. Gosh.
I did watch it.
Should we talk about the library scene then? Like in a bit more in depth?
Yes. Trigger's broom.
Right. So they both end up in a library, which is just like poetic, isn't it? Considering what Vision is like. And then the best line in the finale, I think, is when he mentions Trigger's broom, or whatever he says, or I'm not Vision, or whatever he says, I can't remember. And the other Vision says, I require elaboration.
Yeah, like I can already see that being memed beyond belief.
Oh yeah,
out there, right?
But
sure. I love that it was that you had your super punchy boys for a bit. They punched for a bit, and then they were.
And then they thought about it.
Yeah, and it was like as a good argument to make. Like they are trying to, like, of course, the emotional Vision would be like, but have you thought about this? And the smart, like calculated one would be like,
well, I have now.
It's true. I think that was my other problem with the other Vision was that he was too human. I know obviously Paul Bettany is a human, but
what the White Vision?
Yeah, White Vision. I think they should like distorted his voice and like made his eyes white.
Well, I think they made it. They made it like deeper, didn't they? Or a bit more robotic-y sounding. Like it didn't sound just like Paul Bettany.
I don't know.
I think it was a bit more like gruff.
I genuinely thought they were going to get James Spader back to do the voice of it.
Yeah, I did too.
He played Ultron for those who don't know. Yeah. But like, could you imagine he opened his, like when she goes Vision and he does the head thing and he goes Wanda or whatever. I don't know, that's my Ultron.
No, I honestly thought James Spader joined the Zoom call for a second.
Oh, thank you. I am flattered beyond belief. But he does like his old Wanda.
Yeah.
And it's dip. And that's
that would have been sick. That would have been sick. But I think that probably would have cheapened the whole Vision on Vision thinking contest, wouldn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, because him and Ultron had that conversation already, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like,
and I'd also think
Vision is just such a good character.
He is.
Like,
he is when he's used well.
Definitely gone up in my. It's gone up in my every scene I think of Vision. He is just fantastic.
Yeah, they're using him well at the end, especially compared to like maybe Civil War when he didn't really do much except shoot War Machine out the sky. What you got here?
One thing I would have loved from this series to get, and I don't know if we couldn't because of things with Black Widow, but I would have really loved a flashback to the time they spent together before Infinity War. When they're in Scotland.
Oh yeah. What Wonder and
like
Vision?
Vision, yeah. And she says, "Oh, you're supposed to check in every 3 days or whatever." Like that kind of period where they're letting them go off. And or even if it was just a quick flashback to then where like they're laughing and just doing something.
Yeah, because we haven't seen much of the relationship between them before this. We haven't actually seen much of it like just casually in the MCU. It's like they're in a relationship at the start of Infinity War, and then shit gets fucked up, and then they're dead.
Yeah, like, you know, Age of Ultron, he goes in and saves her, but there's no real romantic spark there. Then we see them in Civil War.
He picks her up all suggestive, like.
But it's also weird because she's supposed to be like, I don't know, 15 then, or like
17. Surely not, because
then they say kids.
Yeah, they call them kids, but I'm pretty sure they say in this her birthday is the same birth year as Elizabeth Olsen in real life, and she's 31 or 32, which would make her
mid-20s
in Age of Ultron. Yeah, and
I
also
don't
Vision.
Know. I feel like
hold on, Vision was born that day.
Yeah, but he's played by a 30 to 40-year-old man. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so you get that bit acting, and then you get the obviously Civil War where he paralyzes Rhodey. We were just going to forget that he, you know, paralyzed the man.
He was distracted. It's fine.
By his dick. And then next thing we see them in Infinity War, and then he dies.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And then next we know they're at Westview.
So it would have been nice to see some of their normal relationship.
I mean, we kind of get a bit of that when Agnes does the previously on and takes them back through the episodes. Takes her back through her life.
Oh yeah, I suppose that would be what the Civil War era scene was for, I guess.
But like, it would have been nice if one before Infinity War, where, you know, they talk about like when you like to buy a house, and or, you know, she says like, you go, I don't know, something like, no, you know, people buy houses and they live in them and they grow old together, and he's like, but I can't grow old, like. Yeah. And like they can have a nice discussion about that, and like, you know, they're both aware it can really work, because eventually she's going to outgrow him, or outlive him, I should say. No, he's going to outlive her. He's not going to die.
She'll die first, unless he runs out of batteries.
Yeah, and then they could have had a nice moment, and then that kind of reflects the whole. Well, nothing's beautiful because I think it's beautiful. Lasts.
Things aren't beautiful because they last. Which also, and, you know, the scene with Vision kind of mirrors that scene. Him and Ultron from Age of Ultron anyway. You don't think?
Wait, what?
You know the bit where he's talking to Ultron at the end of Age of Ultron? Or they have that conversation in the forest.
Yeah, but then if we could have had another kind of drop of that line
with Wanda.
To reinstate that. And then it kind of plays into the idea of, even though Wanda's doing this, she must know it's not real, mainly because it's a sitcom, but even still, this could never be true and happen and real, like even if he agreed to it. But when it says they grow old together, unless he shuts down, but he's never going to physically age, or
well, I suppose he chooses what he looks like, so he could look like a saggy old man if he wanted to. But yeah, I thought that would have just been a bit more to the characters, that, you know, they're kind of doomed from the start. But classic.
What do I know?
Classic tale.
What else happens?
Should we move on? So there's the bit where they're fighting in the sky, and she does the whole rune thing where she's shooting her beams. Wanda's shooting her beams, and you don't know she's doing it at the time, and then it turns out she's creating these big runes in the sky, and she's like, "Oh, thanks for the lesson." So she can pick up any technique just by watching. But also that when Agatha then goes to use her magic and nothing comes out of her hands, do you not think that was very reminiscent of the end of Endgame with Thanos and the gauntlet? Oh, that's all I was thinking.
I did kind of.
The music swells and he just goes, and nothing happens, and I'm like, they're doing the same thing again. But I quite like the whole rune thing. It was interesting.
It did feel a bit. I don't know. It did feel a bit predictable, mainly because we saw in the previously on. It's just like, look at the runes, dear.
Yeah. See, I didn't.
That's important.
I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought maybe she was trying to pump Agnes full of so much power that it overwhelmed her, maybe, or something.
I thought that, or trying to push her out the hex.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think.
But then it was when she kept missing and flying around. I was like, it's going to be because of the. I thought, she's clearly setting up.
I didn't even clock that.
Runes, because it wasn't like Agnes realized at any point, like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, I just thought she was missing because she was getting weaker.
It felt very, like Tennant era Doctor Who. Maybe because I've been watching a lot of it recently. But like,
nerd. Sorry,
we run a podcast, my friend.
Wait. Are you recording right now?
People are listening. But
no.
Like probably not, other than Cassidy. And even then that's But yeah, that kind of callback plays out. Like, okay, yeah.
And then
and then I think it's just because it was pointed out in the previously on.
Yeah.
If it hadn't been,
I guess that was
been,
that was probably a bit too
then that's cool. Because it was like, well, actually, that's either not relevant to the episode because they're outside now, or
something's gonna bring it back.
Yeah. Or if they did want to bring it back in the episode, she goes like when she's reading the Darkhold, like, see, even like this is like I said before about the runes and
that's probably two on the nose.
Well, yeah, not
remember that thing that I did to you? Remember that? Why don't you try it?
Well, no, but I'm saying like she can taunt her about not knowing any magic, and then she can be like,
I guess
you didn't know runes, you didn't recognize this, and blah. I kind of drop it in without thinking.
She also Wanda teleports for the first time, or at least goes invisible. I don't know what, but she's clearly done that just by looking at Agnes as well. Clearly, she can just pick up stuff. Ultron. Oh, the mind thing, yeah. That's the first time we've seen her do that since Age of Ultron. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But then, so she takes all the power, and then she becomes the Scarlet Witch. She gets her new suit, new hairdo.
Oh, sorry, I was just yawning. New threads.
And a
new do.
It's a good suit, isn't it?
I think it's probably one of my favorite.
It's probably the best suit she's had, definitely. It's the first suit she's had. And I read about this, and apparently this was Elizabeth Olsen's choice. It's the first suit she has that doesn't have like a really low neckline. Like down to her boobs. It's up to her
I think
neck.
it was just after her. I think that was just after her Civil War suit. I think was like that, but her Infinity War and Endgame ones.
Didn't they? I didn't remember that one. But yeah, she said because of Scarlet.
That makes me sound so creepy. I just read that on Twitter. I swear.
Because of Scarlett Johansson finally got like a more tactical, normal suit in Infinity War. I think Scarlet Witch was like, yeah, I want one of those too. Because that makes more sense. Because why would you fight with your Nellies hanging out?
It's like if Captain America had like chaps on.
Arseless chaps. That's America's ass.
So then she traps Agnes as Agnes, then doesn't she?
So clearly she can do that to someone without being in the hex.
Yeah. So that's kind of like her New Salem-esque. I'm gonna leave you here until I need you again.
Yeah.
Which I feel is very. I feel like someone else does that, but I can't think who at the minute.
Someone else does what?
Like an old villain or something is just left in like prison, and then
that's a lot of Marvel villains. If they don't kill
the only thing coming to mind is Jump Street.
21 Jump Street.
Or 22. They go back and see the villains from the first one. Of course, to get information.
Or Loki. All the Dark World.
That's a better example. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of like, she could just be on tap, and maybe Westview does become this point for all sorcery and magic.
Yeah,
if they go back in Doctor Strange, she can have a line like, "Oh yeah, well after the news of the Hex, everyone moved out, but knowing this was a source of magic and that, it was the Scarlet Witch was here, all sorts of magical folk started appearing in, and then you do that, and then that way." Baron Mordo can have like, right, well, I'm going to lure everyone to this point and kill them all to get rid of all the sorcerers.
Yeah.
Marvel, that's a good point. Me. I have so many ideas for you.
George has lots of ideas. Lots.
I do. Involving bees. Where are the bees?
I told you where the bees were. They're in our podcast apparently now.
Yes. But yeah, so I do like that they left that book open, that end.
Yeah. Yeah, so she'll be back at some point, probably. As will Monica, we find out in the end credit scene.
So Monica's the only kind of useful thing in this episode.
Oh, well, let's just talk about the end of the episode first. So Vision, they go back to their house, they put the kids in bed, they have a really nice emotional chat, and Vision basically says, yeah, I'll be back. And then he disappears. And then...
Well, there was a bit more emotion than the way Lewis described it.
Nah. That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah, in like 5 seconds. Like, go to bed. You'll be here in the morning.
That's what my mum said to me last night. Okay, let's move on.
Especially after that window, when I think it was about Windows 10 came out or 8. And it was like one of the startup screens was, all your files are exactly where you left them. And it's like, well, why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, what are you been doing? Rooting around in
it? So yeah, they put the kids to bed, which I do like.
It was a nice
scene. Like seeing, you get to see the kind of families. Given it's the last thing they'll ever do as a family, but seeing the family side of things, I think that's what people like most about these kind of shows and films is when you see like the civilian life,
like
as
the human moments.
Yeah, let's take like WandaVision is about a family, seeing the family aspects. When you see Peter Parker doing stuff as Peter Parker, not Peter Parker stuff, but Spider-Man stuff as Peter Parker, or I don't know, that kind of
Peter's man
side of the story. Exactly,
I know what you mean. Yeah,
Peter Man.
So that and then she walks back into town and then flies off after realizing everyone hates her, rightfully so.
Well, before we go on, I did like the line from Vision where he says like, "Oh, I was a voice with no body, then a body with no soul, and who knows what I'll be next."
Yeah, I like that.
And I did like that kind of that callback to him being Jarvis, because they kind of forget that. Like, I know he wasn't around, but like when Iron Man died in Endgame,
Jarvis, isn't it?
Yeah, it would have been nice if because in Civil War, after he paralyzes Rhodey. Like, you must think like he knows. I mean, maybe he wasn't sentient as Jarvis, but he was aware of him.
But does he have Jarvis's memories though? Does he?
Well,
does Jarvis have memories?
Because when Mr. Stark became Iron Man 8 years ago.
Yeah, but that's probably just common knowledge.
That's when Wow. Yeah, I guess.
But then,
when Iron Man says to him, like, you're not supposed to miss, and he goes, "Yeah, I got distracted." He's like, "I didn't think that could happen." He goes, "Yeah, neither did I." Like, I like the idea that actually no, he is still like Iron Man's butler to an extent.
Yeah.
Again, it would have been cool if in Civil War. Oh, would it have been cool? I don't know, but like maybe if we'd seen him as Tony Stark's driver or something like.
Yeah, like still doing things
to serve you, Mr. Stark. Like, that's just what my default is when I'm not being at the Vision. I'm Jarvis.
It would have been funny to see him do that, just to like mess with him.
What do you mean?
Like he comes in, and he's like, I don't know. Don't know where I was going with that.
Obviously, it was better we got Vision as Vision, and he is Vision 24/7. But like, if we start up in Civil War when Tony's doing his speech, and I know he's got Friday now, but Vision answered the door, and it was like, or he turned up with Tony when they were going through the Sokovia Accords.
It must have been weird for Tony to talk to Vision and not call him Jarvis, or not just shout commands at him, because he's been doing that for God knows how many years.
Yeah, or like calling him Jay, like, hey Jay, can you go get Captain? He's like, what? He's like, sorry, Vision, can you go get the Captain? He's like, oh yeah. That I think could have been fun. I mean, obviously we'll never get that now, but
well, never say never, because Vision basically confirmed he's back, and anybody can come back at this point.
Well, yeah, because old pale ass new season chicken. Vision. New chicken instead of Vision.
New chicken vanilla Vision flew off, and I thought he was going to go kill himself at first, but then obviously
I thought he was going to fly up and explode. Yeah, and
but we don't see him, do we? We don't know where he's gone. So clearly, something's going to happen there.
But then I suppose if you put yourself in his mind and he just got all those memories back, including dying twice, I think you've earned a bit of a breather.
Yeah, he's probably gone to have a lay down.
Maybe he's going to find Tony Stark's grave and be like, "Yo, sorry, G. Should have been around."
Yeah, sorry about that, bro. Sorry, I got my head caved in by a big purple man.
So he's clearly ready for prime and ready and set for a return.
Yeah, as are pretty much anybody in this universe. But then, so that's the end of the episode after she flies off, and then we have the first credit scene, which is Monica Rambeau goes into the theater, and the lady reveals herself to be a Skrull, and she says, "A friend of your mum wants to speak to you up there," and we all know she's talking about Nick Fury, right?
Oh, I thought she meant Howard the Duck.
Oh, damn, man! Let me just change my notes.
Him and Rocket Raccoon are like, "Hey, yo, you want to get in on this?"
Yeah, she's like,
"We're gonna go rob a back."
Wait, wasn't it a thing from our last episode before we were like, "Yeah, Rocket Raccoon's in the show up. Him and the Fantastic Four are going to show up," or something stupid like that.
It was How stupid were we? Who are we going to put him with?
I can't remember.
It was someone that actually that worked, wasn't it? Hawkeye? No.
Rocket Raccoon and
Maybe it was Howard the Duck.
let's just go with that. We'll just go with that.
It's really bugging me now. Who's going to be?
We could go back and listen, but we won't.
Nah, he's got the time. Who wants to listen to those anyway?
Yeah. Shit.
It did kind of bug me that the Skrull lady wasn't the
aerospace engineer.
The aerospace engineer, and she wasn't a more prominent character. That would have made so much more sense.
Yeah. Was that wasn't the lady she spoke to before, was it? That was a new lady, the Scarlet Witch.
That's why, because this other one was before. FBI. Yeah.
Yeah, why didn't they just make it the same person?
Yeah,
that would have made so much more sense.
Because then it would have been like, oh, that's why Monica knows her. Because she's purposely kept tabs in close with Monica as a favor to Carol and whoever.
But saying that, so we now know. So the last time we see Nick Fury is in the credit scene of Far From Home, and he's on that sword spaceship, or space center, or whatever it is.
We don't know if it is sword. We just know it's a spaceship.
Oh, did it not say? Did we not see it?
No, I think everyone just assumed it was sword.
Maybe I'm putting the only space in my head. But anyway, we now know that Nick Fury is up there, and he wants Monica to come talk to him. That sounds things.
Exactly.
So it's got to be Nick Fury. I don't know who else it would be. Her mum didn't have any other friends other than Captain Marvel, by the looks of things.
Could have been Talos, who is technically Nick Fury at the minute on Earth. But
yeah, but then why would they go up and not just down the road?
Maybe Talos has gone back up,
and Nick's come back down, and they just keep trading places.
Exactly.
Yeah, jury duty, whatever.
But yeah, so Monica Rambeau's set to return for another show. And hopefully they'll explain more of her powers and what she can do, because
we know Jack fuck at the moment. All she can do is she can absorb bullets, and when Wanda throws her at the ground, she can land nicely. That's all we've seen so far.
Exactly.
And then
she's got that weird infrared vision as well.
Oh yeah, because she sees the radiation around the necklace, doesn't she? And then
again, still should have been Wiccan and Speed taking it out. But that's just mine.
Yeah. So then we get the first time this series where we get another end credit scene, and it shows us in, I don't know, what is it, Alaska or something like that. I thought it was going to be something to do with the X-Men. That always seems to happen up there. But then we see Wanda sitting on the front porch of a house, little cabin, and then she's drinking out of a mug or whatever. Cassidy pointed out that she's holding a mug in her hand. And then she walks inside.
And then the kettle boils.
And then she pours it into the mug.
Yeah. Oh, this bugged me as well, because I saw this and I was like, as someone who's drunk many cups of tea in their life,
I was going to say,
what is she doing? Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you noticed that too, because I thought it was going mental.
Yeah, I just said that maybe she was just topping up, but
she boiled the whole kettle.
Yeah, she wouldn't just pour hot water into it, would she? She would have to make tea.
It's outrageous. Oh, yeah, and then she does some magic stuff as well. But like, she makes a cup of tea while drinking one, and like, I'm obsessed, but even I don't go that far.
Doesn't make sense. But maybe that version of her, because obviously we see her reading the Darkhold while levitating and doing various other things. Maybe that version of her that's drinking the tea isn't really her, and it's just a projection, and that's why it's just doing dopey shit.
Well,
or maybe I'm reaching.
I assume. Yeah, it's probably just stuck on like autopilot and just kind of going back and forth.
Because obviously it's very reminiscent of when Doctor Strange is asleep, but his astral form is reading books. So was that her astral form reading the Darkhold, or is she just in two places at once?
I think the idea is it's supposed to be like an astral form.
Because I've watched the episode twice and I looked to see if she was see-through at all, but it didn't look like she was.
I took it as being an astral plane.
That's what I thought. Because obviously you hear her kids as well. You hear them screaming.
Yeah, you hear Wiccan. Which again, does that mean that they're out there in the multiverse somewhere?
I would say that they actually have souls. And she's reading the Book of the Damned, so maybe they're stuck in, hell or something.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, she turns up strange. She's like, "Hey, my boys are out there.
Get my kids back."
And there's Strange like, "Sorry, I'm dealing with Tobey Maguire at the minute. I've got to put him back."
Pizza time.
That's what he keeps saying.
Keeps playing the piano, walking down the street and strutting. That's an Avengers level threat.
So that is WandaVision. So it leaves everyone primed and ready to come back.
Yeah.
Do you think Jimmy Woo is going to stay at the FBI, or do you think he's going to be in Sword? So he's got more reason to come in and do stuff.
I would like that. I don't think they're done with him, especially after the reception that he
received.
Like, everyone loves him. He's probably one of the more favourable characters from this series.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're probably going to bring it back as, I would say, Sword, just to like tie it together, wouldn't they? That rather than being FBI.
Exactly. I think that's either way it goes, because then he can just pop back in as an FBI person then.
Yeah. So my thoughts on the series as a whole, I'd say like I really enjoyed it and it was really well made. And I think the only reason there are certain disappointments within the show, obviously there's stuff that could have been done better, but the only disappointments I had were blown out of proportion by my own self, by me expecting to see other things and like to wanting more people to show up and all sorts. But if you just watch it for what it is and maybe watch it over a couple of days rather than 8 weeks, I think you would get more out of it and, wouldn't be have such big expectations.
Oh yeah, hands down. I think the exact same here. Like, and I'm so glad this is what we got first from
the Disney Plus stuff. Oh, you mean after the big gap? Yeah.
Yeah, and like, because I think I saw somewhere else it was supposed to be Black Widow, then Falcon Winter Soldier, then the Eternals, and then this, and everything's been rearranged. But I'm so glad this is what we got, because it was such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and it's like giving you faith that the MCU can actually do something good and different, and it's not just going to be the same thing over and over.
Yeah, and that these Disney Plus shows are actually important, because my biggest worry is, after this WandaVision, like maybe the hype will die down a bit of people going like, oh, okay, like maybe I won't carry on with Disney Plus. Like, hopefully they will, but like I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was pegged as like, oh yes, it's a spin-off run alongside the MCU and it's going to interact with the films. But then after season 1, S.H.I.E.L.D. didn't exist, so it was kind of hard to do it, and it kind of got pushed to the wayside. But when Kevin Feige was like, no, these are important MCU properties, these are the next stories in it, it's almost like, we'll make sure they are then. Like, you've got to keep it up.
And clearly these shows are going to be affecting the larger universe like pretty intensely, not just like little line here and there. Like, these are directly linking into the films. Like, these are like films. They are entries into the MCU. They're not just like add-ons. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. So
like, you have to watch these. You can't just skip these and just watch the movies. I feel like if you want to know everything that's going on, you have to watch these.
Yeah, I don't want it to be by the time we get to say Shang-Chi or not Shang-Chi, Loki or She-Hulk. It's not really that important anymore. Like the Defenders almost, whereas like
there is room for stuff that is sort of on the side, but it is nice, especially when you got these characters that we already know. It is nice that they're using these shows to give them a spotlight and then also fold them back in to the larger sort of Avengers level stuff.
But I do think in a few weeks, if we get a break from any Marvel content, I might go back and kind of watch this again.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to do
in one sitting, maybe 1 or 2 sittings, and just kind of watch it as a whole then, and you can see the links between episodes, because there's probably the stuff we've all missed.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
You go, oh, that's so and so, and look, you can see Agnes in the background here, and like that.
Yeah, and there's the bees.
I don't think there's anything like that, but oh god, where are my bees? Where are they?
Are we? Has there actually been any bees, or is it just the beekeeper? Was he even with bees?
He had bees flying around him.
Did he?
Yeah, but also, where's the beekeeper? Like, they made a point of being like, oh, his line got cut and he hasn't come back. Oh,
yeah, and then it's like, well, fuck him then.
Even just put him in the background of an episode. Like, oh yeah, he's still there doing his thing.
Maybe he's there and he just got transformed to something else in a different decade. Who knows?
He should have just been a different animal, like keeper in each episode.
Like a
bees.
Penguin keeper. Is
sure.
that thing? Kangaroo wrangler.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. But yeah, right? And then you see him like he could be like a dog walker in the 70s one or in the 80s one, and then he's like a stoner with an iguana. And every episode he's like, oh, he's got an animal, but he's just there.
A stoner with an iguana.
Yeah, don't ask me where I got the inspiration from. And then then when you get to the circus one, he's like maybe the lion tamer or something, or
yeah, that makes sense. But I suppose this is sort of detail that only people like you and me would care about.
The bees are
the bees, the beans. Anyway, so that was that's WandaVision.
I did enjoy WandaVision. I'm very thankful for Marvel for doing this. And
I think I'm also thankful that this WandaVision was pretty much what actually kicked us in the butt to start doing a podcast. So
that's true. Yeah, if it hadn't been for that,
we would have still been talking about it for the next 30 years and never actually doing it.
Exactamundo.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah. So we'll be back. If anyone's only been listening for our WandaVision commentary, thank you for listening. Hopefully you'll stick around because we've got loads of other content. In fact, we've got a whole other series coming out in just 2 weeks.
Yeah, and next week we'll have something not related to that, and they tend to get less plays, but you should listen.
I'm thinking next week. This is off air.
Right.
Do we want to do something like the Pokemon teams or something so out like nothing to do with TV or film during the hiatus weeks?
Yeah,
and then we can come back for Winter Soldier.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Cool. All right, back on air. Clunk.
Back on air. I'm probably just going to leave that in. Not gonna lie.
The clunk as well. Even the clunks.
I'm just slowly doing less and less editing. I'm not going to lie.
That's fine. Well, I also think a Patreon, we can hire someone to do it for us.
I also think it's just because we're getting more and more, we feel more and more natural, so it requires less editing.
That's probably the secret as well. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Do you want to?
No, I did enjoy WandaVision. Would you watch a WandaVision season 2?
Yeah, of course I would. I mean, I'd watch anything Marvel, but like if it was on its own, yeah, I probably still would.
Yeah, I do like Vision. He's I think he's definitely gone up in my character like rankings.
Yeah.
So that was WandaVision. Share your thoughts with us on Twitter or wherever because we want to know what you think.
Speaking of Twitter, I did say last week or the week before that if anybody tweeted us, I would read it out. And we've had someone tweet us for the first time ever. And it is, I believe, your friend James.
Hi, James. Right?
He said, I don't ask for much in this life. All I want is... No. Oh, fucked it. I'm sorry, James. I don't ask for much in this life. All I want is for your next episode to drop. And you're going to get your wish. Bro.
Thank you, James. He's congratulations on your engagement as well from whenever that was.
Oh, congratulations.
He let me take some photos for him.
Oh,
and film it as well, but congratulations, James. We'll perform a live show of the podcast at your wedding.
Yeah, it'll be the best MCU weddings.
I want to know what Cass's thoughts on the show were. Check on the mic.
What did you think of WandaVision as a slightly more casual fan than like MCU fan than me and George fanatics?
That I would not understand it at all without your podcast or without coming to you and Lewis. Like, what does all of this mean? And probably would have been completely blown over by a lot of the stuff that's in the comics. But now that I know what all of them are, it's fucking awesome.
Have you seen all the MCU stuff?
Yeah,
she has. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What didn't you just answer for?
Oh.
It's fine.
I'm not very good at this interviewing stuff. This is a podcast, not an interview. Not yet, anyway.
So, okay. So does it make you excited about stuff coming in the future?
Actually, so excited. I wasn't super happy with the ending until I realized like how much it set stuff up for. Like so much more is going to happen now, and like we were fantasizing all these other things, but actually, like the reality is so much cooler than what we were fantasizing.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Who was your favorite character in it?
Out of all of them.
Just in WandaVision.
In WandaVision.
Yeah.
Herb.
Who's
that guy that cuts the bushes?
The guy cutting the bush.
I really enjoyed him.
You like when he cut through the fence?
I love when he cut through the fence.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have like 5 lines?
Hey, that's all you need, mate. 5 lines is all you need.
Oh, I just realised the reason he does that is because Wanda's taken her eye off the ball because she's dealing with Monica and she's not controlling him.
Oh. I didn't quite believe him.
It makes sense now.
Let's go back in time and say that in our week 3 episode.
So we'll just splice it into episode 4. It was.
Right. Well,
I had another question. Wait, I had another question.
Oh, you had another question. Okay.
Yeah. Hello. Wait. Oh, have you got the headphones on now?
Yeah.
So he can't hear me.
No.
Okay. I'll bet he will listen to the recording, so I can't say anything too bad. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you most excited about in the future of the MCU now after watching WandaVision? Like, are you like? Oh, I want to see more the magic stuff. I want to see more of what's happening with Vision. I want to see more of whatever.
I reckon I'm super excited for like Doctor Strange because I can't wait to see like I want Vision to walk up to him and be like, by the way, I'm way more powerful than you, and then like do some cool magic trick on him. That's Vision? What I'm excited for. Oh, not Vision, Wanda.
Right, okay.
I want Wanda to walk up to Doctor Strange and be like, bro, you think you're the best, but no, and then show him and do a cool move.
So you want Wanda to do like a backflip in front of him or something?
Yeah, no, like backflip, and then she does a hex and then sucks him in, and there's like, sorry, you haven't got any powers, I've got them all.
Oh, okay. That would be quite interesting actually if she became the villain for Doctor Strange. Like, we all know she's in it, but what if she's like teaming up with Mordo and she's, oh yeah, maybe she's teaming up with him and she's like, well, I can suck powers in, and you want to get rid of all the sorcerers in the world. Let's team up. That was more of a thing for. That
would be sick, but I can't imagine her being the villain again. I feel like she's been too villainy. I feel like Doctor Strange will make her like face everything she's done and like maybe go back and like help Agatha.
Do you think they're going to pop back and see Agatha at some point? And like...
I think he'll be like, you can't leave Agatha like that. Like, you got to make things right.
Yeah, I can see her kind of retaining her memories of being a witch, but she'll still be that kind of nosy neighbor-esque character. Like, hey dear, like, you know, oh, that's the Thompsons over there. They moved in last week and they're from wherever, but they can do magic too. And I said to Lewis, I can imagine this big, like, a safe haven for magic people. And then she's kind of
just again, the nosy neighbor.
That nosy neighbor, but she's also like, you know, the super powerful witch, but she doesn't really need to use her powers because that's part of her brain has been locked away by Wanda.
I think that would be really funny to watch.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for your comments. I will get Lewis to edit them in. But he can do it if he wants. I can't make him do anything, but you know.
I can.
Give it up for Cass, everyone. Woo!
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, basically she said that she'll never love you as much as I do. So
sorry. You realised that I couldn't hear you, but I could hear her.
Yeah, well, I just said answer these questions with this answer.
Right, okay. Yeah.
But she did have a lot of interesting insight. I was saying to her that I think wouldn't it be cool if Wanda becomes the villain, or a twist if she became the villain of Doctor Strange 2 with Mordo.
I think it's a real possibility.
They're going to team up. Actually, it's her they're taking out, kind of like Civil War.
Yeah,
with Iron Man being the antagonist.
I think that's definitely a real possibility.
You also missed out on my spot on Catherine Hahn impression as well. So
I think I sort of heard it. I could hear something coming through the headphones. I did wonder. I was like, is he putting on an American accent? What's going on here? Wanda.
We're not going to be able to do those jokes anymore after this week.
What, the Wanda jokes?
Yeah.
Why not? We can do them till we're dead.
I did WandaVision if Falcon's actually going to give his wings to Bucky. Yeah, so that works.
I did Scarlet Witch if Falcon. Wait.
I'm going to Hayward these kids if they don't shut up.
I'm going to Hayward myself tonight.
Right,
should we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Cool. That's your job. Okay. You do that. I'm glad you asked.
And we're moving on. Thank you for listening, everybody, for this this mess of a show. Thank you for joining us on our WandaVision journey. But stick with us because, like we say, we're going to be covering The Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is due to come out on the 19th of March. Yeah, I think next week we're going to go for something completely different, just to give ourselves a bit of a
break. Palate cleanser.
Oh, very clever. Palate town cleanser.
Oh,
because I gave it away.
I did that on purpose.
Oh, what, the palate cleanser?
Sure.
Wait, hang on, I'm confused. Were you doing a bit or am I doing a bit? I didn't want to spoil it.
Sometimes it becomes so foggy. I just don't know.
So yeah, check back in for that. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast, leave us a like and a rating and a review. They really do help.
I will read out every review we get. That's another promise I'm making.
And I will do them in my Ultron voice afterwards. So if you want to hear my spot on Ultron impression from before, you know what you got to do.
Yeah. Send us a tweet and a review.
What do you want me to say in my Ultron voice?
Sorry, I thought you were asking me. All right, carry on.
No, I was asking you.
Oh, can you say thank you for listening, special thanks to, and then just go from there, just riff.
Special thanks to Riff. Okay, I can't do Vision. It sounds more like Grover.
I didn't know Yoda was on this podcast.
But yeah, ratings and reviews. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, they help so much to such a small podcast like ours, and it really is. Any interaction from any of you, we greatly appreciate. Not to get too soppy, but no, we managed to get through. Like, what was this? 11 episodes now? 10?
10, 11. There's no way of really knowing.
Thanks to everyone who interacts and messages us and tweets us and shares the episodes. Like, it's so great just to see people listening and knowing that you're actually enjoying what we're doing. I mean, this is just a fun thing we started just because it was a reason for us to keep talking.
Yeah, we talk so much. Why not record it?
Exactly, and we're having these discussions during lockdown anyway because of what's going on with WandaVision, and it's just great that we're getting other people involved and people are actually enjoying it and finding it useful. Us breaking down these.
The fact that people say they actually kind of like it helps them understand certain things is always nice.
Exactly. Yeah. So thanks everyone. That's just our soppy bit out of the way. If you do want to say hi, you can follow us on Twitter at AverageInitPod and on Instagram at the Average Initiative. I think that's and on YouTube at the Average Initiative podcast.
Yep. I think so.
And then you can find us individually on Twitter. I'm at Geo Dursley on most things,
and I'm at Creechmeister on Yamam.
Hey. Oh, my mum said hi, by the way, when I told her I was calling you.
Oh, okay. Say hi back.
I'll do. I'll make sure she gets that message.
Okay, cool. She can find me on Twitter at Creechmeister.
Hey-o. I did set her up with a Twitter account. I think the only person she follows is Ollie Mers.
Oh.
I think it's Ollie Mers and David Williams, and that's about it.
Wow. She is, I don't know, she's living in 2011.
Thank you for everyone, and like I said, we'll be back next week for another episode with a different topic.
Yeah,
so that's how podcasts work.
It is. I think we're figuring it out.
Follow us on Twitter, please. We want followers. That'd be really helpful.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.